Yeah, it's Good Friday, April 2023. It's 12:30 here. I thought I'd just come and make a video. Just had a nice walk. Sat on a bench in a little park that's just behind where I live. Very, very pleasant. I was just sitting there reflecting on. Yeah, I spoke to somebody on the phone. I rang them up and said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm just working, just finishing off a report that I need to do." All on his own, perfectly happy doing that. So he's going to wash his car, and then he didn't know what he was going to do. And it suddenly occurred to me that, why are we all here? And why am I here? Why am I here in this location? Sat on a park, a beautiful view, a lovely sunny day, just a tiny breeze, perfect temperature, it's neither hot or cold. Birds singing. What am I doing here? And when people used to ask Ramesh Balsekar this question, well, why were we created? Why am I here? Why are we all here? What are we all doing? He would say, well, we don't know. You'll never know. And who wants to know anyway? Who's asking the question? And obviously he was pointing to the fact that it was an ego that thought it was a doer. I remember a friend of mine, what I call a paid friend. He said that I think one of the problems you have, Graham, is you think there's something special to do. You should be doing something special. There's no answer to that. A lot of what he said was probably right, but not very helpful. But whereas I found Ramesh very, very helpful. What he said, he would say that in a subject-object relationship, with this individual body-mind organism, he used to describe it as this individual spark of consciousness that has this silent, depthless, sort of depthless. How would he describe it? Characteristic. You can't find it. You can't see it. You just have this feeling of an impersonal sense of I am. I exist. I'm alive. But in the subject-object relationship, this body-mind organism being an object, you cannot know the mind of the subject, the source, the great manifester, the one, God, cosmic law, universal energy, the one. In the same way, the subject-object relationship between a sculpture, say. This is the example Ramesh would often give. A sculpture cannot know why the subject or the sculptor, the artist, created it. Can't know. We can't know why we were created. We're just here. And that's very helpful. I think it's the perennial question, really. That Ramesh used to say that we're born, and we're then subjected to conditioning. Which country we were born in, which socio-economic group, to what kind of parents. Whether you got one parent, two parents, no parents. And then which school you go to, which teacher you have, what they teach you. All this conditioning results in what Ramesh would call this divine hypnosis. That here in the UK, in England, we're sort of conditioned into this paradigm of you do this, you do this, you do that. You're a good boy or a good girl. You do as you're told. You're not naughty. Yes, I can remember my grandmother, my nan, saying, you speak when you're spoken to. Sometimes she's quite an irascible woman, really. I loved her very much, but didn't realise it at the time. She's very funny. She's a little Irish lady. She made very strong tea. The spoon would almost stand up in it. It was so strong. But I loved it. I love my cups of tea, my nan. Anyway, I'm digressing a bit. So, where was I? So, we're brought into this, conditioned into this divine hypnosis of being a doer. That you do this in order to get that outcome. You go to school, you sit still, you listen to the teacher, you put your hand up and hopefully give the right answers and get gold stars in your exercise books for getting all the questions right. And then when you go out to play, you're good at football, and I don't know, you just abide by all the rules. And as you get older, you're told it's bad to smoke, it's bad to drink alcohol, it's I don't know. It's bad to have sort of sex with other youngsters, young teenagers. It's quite funny, really, how we're just totally conditioned into, passing tests and exams, and then you get a good job, and you get some money, and then you meet somebody, and you commit to them. You get married, and you buy a house and a car, and then you have children, and it's all, and then you'll be happy. But we all know it doesn't quite work out like that. That you can do all what society expects of you and not enjoy sort of success, really. Perhaps I'll talk about this another time. There's a Buddhist sort of concept of the 8 winds of the world. It's pleasure and pain, success and failure, fame and disrepute, praise and blame. That at different stages of your life you will experience all 8 winds, and there's nothing you can do about it apart from see it for what it is. It's like this is how it is. And Ramesh would say it was out of acceptance of what is, what's actually happening. That sometimes pleasure, sometimes pain, sometimes pleasure, sometimes pain. But this is how it is. And he would say that depending on your destiny of this body-mind organism, you will experience as much pleasure and as much pain as the great ordainer has decreed. Everything happens in accordance with the will of God, or cosmic law, or the source, or So there you are. Why are we here? Well, you're here because you are here. And as I made a video the other day, why are we here? And the Dalai Lama said the reason we are here is to be happy. And Ramesh Balsekar's take on that, I think, was we're here to suffer until we come to the realization that we're not the doer. That everything happens in accordance with God's will. I made another video. I think it's everything just happens. I'm sat here now. I'm waiting for my youngest son and his wife, and their two children. Little Ev, she's 4, and Tommy, he's 1. My grandchildren, I haven't seen them for months. So looking forward to seeing them. Yeah, we've probably got the local park just up the road. Because Ev loves playing on the swings. She loves playgrounds and swings, and it's this sort of this innocence of children that we all find so attractive. They're just, everything's wonderful. Everything's here for me. And little Tommy's starting to walk now, and it's quite funny. Looks just like his daddy, and his daddy was the same age. Anyway, getting all sentimental and silly now, but I'm looking forward to them arriving. They're stuck in traffic somewhere they've been to Cornwall, which is the next county down from Devon where I live. Of course, everybody's they're trying to get on holiday, so the roads are very busy. Anyway, so we don't know why we're here, and it's a question that no one can ever answer. You get all these videos on YouTube and other, find your purpose in life. What's your purpose? What's your purpose? Yes, follow your bliss, do this, don't take it. That's all very well and good. But you can follow your bliss as much as you like, but if it's not your destiny to find happiness in what you're doing, then you won't find it. It's this peace of mind in everyday living that Ramesh, he didn't promise it. He just said, if you listen to my teachings, to my concepts, one day, through the grace of God, or the great ordainer, or the universe, whatever you want to call it, cosmic law, that you might come to the realization that you're not the doer, and that everything is in the can. Everything is predetermined. Now that that we're all just actors on a stage. We're all just, every individual sentient being is just an instrument of God's will. They're playing a part in this mysterious happening, all these happenings. And if you can come to this realization, you're not the doer, that you just do what you think and feel like saying, and not be attached to the outcomes, and that you are always going to do what you're always going to do, and everybody else is the same. It's and don't take any of it personally. So It's like that. They're like this. And if you do come to that realization that you're not the doer, then pride and arrogance, guilt, shame, resentment, all disappears, really, or not. It just filters away. Yeah, they did that. And you get away from this, oh, they hurt me, you're still going to be hurt, but you don't hold any resentment. They just did that because they did it. I'm trying to think of an example. No, not to say that this, you'll do what you do, and if you delight society, then you will be rewarded. You'll be praised. If you disappoint society and go against the rules, as they see it, then you will be punished. And it could well be that you do something in the heat of the moment. Anger is just a biological reaction, Ramesh would say. And you lash out, you hit someone, they fall backwards, they hit the head on the curb, they fracture their skull, and they die. And you're arrested, you're put in front of the judge and the jury, and you're found guilty, and you're put in prison. But, it could happen to anybody. We never know what's going to happen. But when you're sat there in prison, you can not feel any guilt or shame. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, what made me do that? I've ruined my life, my family. It's quite amazing, really. It's like I was talking in I think it was the last video number 9, about how things fall apart. I was talking about a friend of mine who was, I'll say he was a psychiatrist, very held in very high regard in his community. And he was, head of all the mental health services for the state in which he lived. Was a church, part of the church Christian community. A lovely wife, 2 young sons. As I say, at the height of his profession. And there he was trying to help very unwell people to get well from their mental health conditions, as they're called. Perhaps I'll talk about this another time, but he was highly traumatized as a youngster. A very difficult childhood, and even he lived in South Africa for a time, and he told me once that he watched his best friend be incinerated in a car. These local people poured petrol on his friend's car and set fire to it, and he was incinerated in front of him. There's nothing he could do. He had to run away, save his own life. Anyway, as a result of all these traumas, and I will talk about this one day, about how trauma becomes stored in the body and can then drive all of our behaviours without us realising it. I think Jung called it the subconscious. You're just not aware of it. It's not been processed. Anyway, I'll talk about that. But as a result of what he was trying to do. There he was he's trying to help these very, very, very unwell people under a huge amount of stress, I suppose, and pressure, to run this service to a very high level and to get people better. And in dealing with these people, what it was doing was triggering his own trauma and what Ramesh would call this inner uncomfortableness, to a point whereby he was driven to behaviour. People would call it an addictive behaviour that resulted in him breaking the law, of offending society. We've all got our different views on this. I was saying to him, well, actually, what you were doing wasn't really harming anyone. It was just a concept that you shouldn't be doing it. That okay.